And from now up until Election Day, we're going to be speaking with the candidates running for local and state positions.
And today we are talking about the race for County Board of Supervisors. In the race for District 1, current supervisor and Democrat Nora Vargas is being challenged by Republican Alejandro Galicia. He joins us now with more on his campaign. So we want to thank you, first of all, for being here.
Appreciate the invite.
And let's talk about the reason why you want to run and represent your district. District 1, so the South Bay, we've got Chula Vista, National City, IB.
Yes.
And so why is it that you wanted to run?
Well, there's a number of issues that I feel I can do better because of my background. I've not been politicking my whole life. I've been doing a number of things, including, like, one of the most relevant things is my Army time. I served on the border. I had to run air, soil, and water quality sample tests of the new river, which is very similarly polluted to the Tijuana River Valley. And, sum up the fact that I've run a business for 20 years. I know how to work within budgets. I need to beat the budgets. I think we can use a lot of that on the board, and I think I can do a better job.
Right now, that sewage crisis in the South Bay is really a #1 issue. Everybody's concerned about it. Even if you don't live down there, the residents and businesses are being affected. What about a solution? What do you think is the best solution to that problem?
Well, the true solution is long-term. It falls mostly in Mexico's hands. They need to manage the sewer plants that they have down there, but they break down. I won't venture to guess why. And then they let raw sewage, millions of gallons, run into the sea. They go into the Tijuana River Valley, and the hydrogen sulfide and the traces of cyanide and things like that, they are not good for us. We're breathing that stuff, and I don't know if you've tried to go down there. I'm a plumber, and I was disgusted when I tried to take a friend to Borderfield State Park to show them, and the smell was overwhelming as we drove literally over the river.
I know that you say that the solution has to come essentially from Mexico's part in all this.
Yes.
But this is not something new. This has been going on for years, and still nothing has been done. And it sounds like, even with this current mayor, she's trying to get federal help, and they're still not helping. What can we do about that?
Well, it does have to be made a priority at the federal level. Obviously, San Diego County does not have the power to truly negotiate with Mexico. But I think the combination of knowing which congressional members we can assist us, and having the people relationship with the leaders down there will make a big difference.
One of the hot button issues is affordable housing. How do you look at that? How do you try to tackle that?
I think it's supply and demand. As long as we limit and make it more expensive to build houses, it's going to be more and more expensive. We have the sunshine tax, of course, but I'm a contractor, and I know how difficult, and I'm not saying that the people in the permitting departments are making it difficult. They're following regulations. We need to make it easier to build homes, attach fewer requirements, and let it sort itself out. But we need the supply in there, and the demand will be met.
I know you talk about the restrictions and slowing down the housing development. How about the homeless population? Because that has just grown significantly over the last few years.
And that truly is a shame on us. I mean, we seem to have money for a lot of other pet projects, but there's still, I think the last count I saw, like 10,000 veterans living under bridges here in San Diego County. As a veteran, that really strikes my heart. But of course, there's people with mental illnesses, there's people with drug issues, and why don't we have avenues for them to follow? Temporary solutions, let them fix their issues, those that want to fix them. And we have the resources and the funding available if we have to go to the federal government. I know it's there. It's just a matter of making it a priority locally.
Alejandro Galicia, thank you so much for being here. And again, you're running for the District 1 seat on the County Board of Supervisors. We wish you the best of luck.
Yes, and we also spoke with Supervisor Nora Vargas live during the Fox 5 Morning News last week, so you can find her interview as well as this one and a full election guide on our website, fox5sandiego.com/election.